טוב להתראות לכולכם.
Okay.
להתראות, תודה
תודה
נחמה,
רבה.
להתראות
Okay.
ורה.
Toda rabba, Vera.
היום אנחנו ביום חמישי, מהו התאריך?
26.
26 באוקטובר 2023. Today we are 26 of October 2023, and we are meeting in the frame of Learn Yiddish and Yiddish Literature online. And Nechama is the host, and she began now to tape our meeting. And we are supposed today to continue reading the story of Sholem Aleichem, Nishtok and Nice. But before we continue, and you have the sign on the screen, I want to say that here in Israel, we are expecting what will happen in the near future. And there is a sort of tension in the population here in Israel. 120,000 people of the population were moved from the north and the south, from their cities to a more secure place inside the country. And while we will be reading Sholem Aleichem and his description of the pogroms in Eastern Europe at the beginning of the 20th century, I must say that I am listening, and almost everyone is listening in Israel, the radio, 24 hours a day, to know what happened the 7th of October on Simchat Torah. And during the whole day, we came to know dozens of stories of the massacre Hamas did here in Israel. And there is no end to the stories and to the casualties. And on that background, we will be reading now Sholem Aleichem story, Nishtok and Nice. If there are, before we begin and continue reading, if there are comments or questions about what we read until now, a couple of days ago, this is the moment, and if not, we will continue reading.
Oh, okay.
נחמה, יש לך שאלה?
No, ich bin sehr umetig. Ich weiß nicht, was zu tun. You know, wir haben geschickt, you know, a paar donations.
Yeah.
Aber ich gucke auf den Television. You know, it's like either people are saying, either you're for this or for that. Like, I don't like, I don't know. I don't know if they speak. I don't
No
know if
one, no one knows.
knows. I know. I don't even know if the IDF knows what. I mean, I don't know if they should go in there. I mean, humanitarian is humanitarian. I hate. I hate to think what happened in Israel with the hostages but I also I hate to see the people in Gaza. I mean, suffering humanity, people. And I understand that the IDF say that the Hamas has fuel, and I understand that.
Yeah.
But we all know that they use their own people as shields. So
Yeah. My question about what is happening in Toronto, because we hear that also outside Israel there is a big commotion and there are different demonstrations pro and against Israel. What do you have in your city in Toronto?
yesterday I had a doctor's appointment. I hung around downtown. I didn't know anything about a protest, and I think at Queen's Park, um, um, where they sit, and the city, political whatever. They had, and like in the evening they had a protest, and they, like everywhere you see, they wear scarves. They have signs. It's violent. It's either this or that. There's no peace. They don't say about the hostages. Nothing, just their side. And I think the students are getting scared. A couple of things happened in the States. Cooper Union, I don't know, library. I don't know what the university is. Maybe Amy knows. There were Jewish students in a library, and they came to the door. The door was locked, but they're like going after and I saw the picture, maybe 4 or 5 students there, and where the door was. Like, I don't know how anyone, like, security can, like, they can't be everywhere all the time, but this just happened.
One of the big stories in the States is University of Harvard, which does not protest about what's happening.
The thing with universities, it's I'm trying to understand it. It's the same as the arts culture, our arts and literature. It's free. It's free to, like, it's with students there. It's somewhere to express your viewpoints, and like for everybody, and it just, I don't, I'm for freedom of expression, and that's where university students get their what their affiliations or their clubs. But this is just scary. I mean,
one of the main arguments I hear here in the radio in Israel, there are people who say that if this non-humanitarian way of behaving of Hamas will not be stopped, it will go to more places in the world, not only in Israel. But I want to hear if Amy can add something about what's happening in Boston.
Yes, so Nechama, your camera is on. I don't know if you like.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
sorry I didn't speak up.
I thought I shut it.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't
Okay.
know, yeah,
you
Yes.
usually don't like it on, so.
okay, let's see. Let's
כן.
see. Uh,
אימי, את
Um,
רוצה להוסיף משהו על בוסטון?
Well,
Okay,
you know, I don't know specifically about Boston. I haven't been reading as so much news. It's overwhelming. But to speak about what Nechama was talking about at the beginning about that this knee-jerk reaction of everyone jumping to sides, one side or another side right
Yeah.
away, and everything being so divisive and people against each other.
Yeah.
I mean that's the root of the violent protests and you know anyway. And
Yeah.
so you know there was a column in the New York Times, I think yesterday, by a
Mhm.
Palestinian woman, I believe. I think she might be American. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And but it was simply a column about the phenomenon that she has noticed, that whenever she speaks to groups, I think she might be an author of books about the Palestinian experience. It might even be fiction. I can't really remember.
Yeah.
But you know, books that tell stories, human stories about
Yeah.
people. And she says whenever she speaks to a group, somebody will say, you know, I really enjoyed this speech, or I really enjoyed this book because you humanized the characters. You put a human face on. And her point was how it feels to go through life as a Palestinian with the default being that they are not seen as human beings. The humanity is not seen. I mean, this can be said for a lot of groups. And I just thought, you know, this is a very interesting article. I can relate it to other things. I can relate it to other groups. It's very human to human. I can be open to this. My heart is listening to this.
Yeah.
You
but
know,
Amy, does the New York Times talk about the humanity of the Israelis and the hostages? I think the New York Times has been getting some flack about how they report.
yeah, no,
yeah, sorry, yeah.
no, that's okay. But because what I was going to say is, but then you look at the comments to the article, and people write in, and the comments were largely, I mean, there were a lot of positive comments like, thank you for writing this. This really, you know, helps and expands my mind and my heart. But many people were just starting again with the party lines that whichever side they're on, you know, the what about this, and the, you know what I mean? And so it's like, it's impossible. I think that as human beings, I'm not sure that we're capable of overcoming our own defects, our own
Yeah.
nature. This is why I'm very hopeless. I'm really hopeless.
Right.
Because I just don't know that we can ever overcome our weaknesses.
Yeah.
And Naomi, you know, I'm not sure about the, I can't really speak to, I haven't been really keeping a good view of trends and things like that. But But what was I just going to say now about I lost my train of thought, but
Okay, okay. I
Can-
want to ask you
yeah.
before what do you see in the streets of Boston? You see something?
Well, I don't really know. I mean, yesterday I read an article about something that happened at Georgetown University, George Washington University in
Yeah.
Washington, where I guess there was a protest where people projected like slides onto the outside of the library walls of a building. Free Palestine from the river to the sea. So yeah, there's this digging in, this very extreme digging in. It's horrible.
Right.
See,
Okay.
they weren't protesting. They were protesting by a light, like a light projectile with the words
Yes,
on the outside building,
un-
right? So they didn't have to
right.
be there, right, on like in person. But I
I
find
don't know.
that unbelievable.
I don't know specifically. Yeah, yeah.
I just want to
I
say that.
actually, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. One of the hostages that was taken is a Holocaust survivor from Poland, and I just read a heading that Poland is pleading for Hamas to release this Holocaust survivor
Yeah.
from Poland. That to me was a very nice gesture. Yes. They I'm going to say this, they also they have blood on their hands themselves. I mean, maybe it was just what, okay. I mean, it was nice. I mean, it's a wonderful gesture. I'm not sure how the Poles feel about us. All the anti-Semitic tropes are coming up, right? And it doesn't matter what happens, we're going to be blamed anyways.
Okay. So what I wanted is to hear from you what's happening outside Israel.
Can I just say one thing, Amy? There's a workman's circle in Boston. And I read somewhere that the workers circle in Boston is so left wing and anti-Israel that workers circle broke with other left wing organizations because they're so out of touch with what's, with Israel. I don't want to, this is how I see it, that, and I was in a group, a Yiddish group, and I felt like I was saying, let's read this, let's read that. And they didn't like the suggestions that I was bringing forth, like Yiddish writers to read. And now I understand why.
Why?
Why? Because I suggested maybe reading Bluma Lempel. Do you know about this writer?
Yes.
Yes,
the
I
woman.
mean, yes. She I forget her biography, but she writes, she went through the Holocaust. It's fiction, but I'm sure some of it is her own experience.
Yeah.
And no, that was a no. And Yechiel, I'm sorry, I suggested Chaim Grada, and that was a no. It's
And
like
they
that
said
was
no.
They said no.
Why?
No, they don't have to tell me why. I didn't, I don't even, I kept saying, how do you make a decision? Like, maybe let's vote on it. Let's put up our hand. Like, I was upset that I didn't understand who decides, how they decide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. בואו נחזור לעניינים שלנו. I wanted a little bit to hear what you say, but we have to go back to Sholem Aleichem. And
can I ask
Yes,
one thing?
Amy.
And this in my mind anyway, it relates a
Yes.
little bit to going back to our text. I had a question about what the newspapers maybe and the people in Israel, what word or words are you using to refer to the action Hamas on October 7th? And the reason I ask is because from what I do read here, most of the time the word advice is attacks.
לא שמעתי מספיק. מה השאלה, אמי?
Oh, okay. What word do the Israeli newspapers or the Israeli population use to refer to the action of Hamas on October 7th? Do they say attack? Do they say massacre? Does anyone use the word
They say
pogrom?
massacre. They say massacre.
Rampage? They say massacre.
And they
Because
say
in the United
massacre.
States, yeah.
They say,
Mhm.
Amy, they say massacre because in Israel, when I hear the radio, people are very, very careful not to describe what happened really, because these are terrible things. And they are only hinting at it. And I will not repeat what I understood what Hamas did. It's not their deeds cannot be looked as part of a liberation fight for freedom. And okay.
And look at the head of the UN. He's something about vacuum. He used the word vacuum, and I don't know. He retracted or he went back and he explained, but the UN, the head of the UN, what he was saying is that, I guess there was a history there in Gaza. So,
Of course.
I mean,
we heard about that a big discussion. If what he meant, and he tries to say that he was against what Hamas said, but yes, there is a history, as you say. But there is no history, in my opinion, from the side of Israelis, which did not what Hamas did outside any fight for liberation. It's not a fight for liberation at all.
The Palestinians are used as pawns by everybody, not just Hamas. I mean, Abbas, we're doing the work for Abbas, the I don't know, the Palestinian leader. Where is he now? I know, in the West Bank. Is that where he is? I don't know where he is.
Okay, let's go back to our text, because there is no end to the whole situation.
Can I just ask if
yes,
I was just curious about the word pogrom. It is not being used?
very little, because this is much over any definition of pogrom. This was a systematic way of killing Jews because they are Jews, and it was said that there were found booklets with the Hamas people who entered here, where it is said specifically what they have to do to Jews. Yes, it was planned from the beginning. So it is said to us. Pogrom is a very, very tiny way describing what happened.
Okay.
But they also say like they bring in Holocaust too.
Who say that?
I don't know, just there's the references to Holocaust.
These are associations from Israelis, not of the Hamas people.
No, I know that. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They
Okay.
say a pogrom, a massacre. It's a Holocaust. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I can say that the time will come when all the horrible things Hamas did will be in the open. And then I guess that we will know better why pogrom is a very tiny word for what happened.
The families have to be. The families need the support. They have to heal. You know, it's a small family, the bigger family.
Yes, I don't know if you heard, but one of the Hamas people who entered here, he used a phone of a victim
Yeah.
to speak with his parents in Gaza about what he did. He was very joyous that he killed 10 Yahud. And the father and the mother said, very good, very good.
When are you coming home? Yeah, they
Right.
said good,
Right.
good. When are you? I don't think they yeah.
It's not only the perpetrators, also the common people in Gaza. We had an example how they were joyful about what's happening. So
But
there is no doubt.
but they had to know that he was with Hamas. It wasn't like they had to know that what he was doing.
Who are they? Who are they?
The parents. The parents. I mean,
They know, of course they know.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, it was said many times that together with 2,500 people from Gaza who came to kill Jews, there entered also simple people from Gaza to rob. Yes, without arms.
Oh.
So let's go back to our text.
Okay.
נחמה,
Um,
משפט הבא אחרי הסימן.
okay. I have my own copy. Amy, could you tell me what line we're on page 107?
Yes.
What page?
107, the end of line 9.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
We just said that
Zwei-
Zlatia had lost 2 children in 1 week.
Okay. Und Avram Moshe Sohn ist schon jetzt Avada in Amerika. As du wirst
Translation.
and Abraham, the son of Moshe, right? Abraham Moshe's, is that right? Zun, okay.
Yes.
His son is already already now in of course Avada in America.
Right.
I'm just wondering why is showing east. Showing wouldn't that be the same as eats?
It's a way of reinforcing what he means to say that in the present he is not anymore in Eastern Europe but in America. It's a way of reinforcing. Showing eats already now, like in English.
Okay. Als du wirst ihm sehen, sollst du ihm losen gerissen und sagen, sein Tate ist Molodietz.
Okay. Translate.
When you will see him, or when you see him, sollst du ihm lassen, let him. Wait, sollst du ihm lassen
You
grüßen?
should
Sollst
greet
du
him.
ihm, oh, lassen grüßen, okay.
Okay.
You should greet him, okay.
Right.
And say, as sein Tate, that his father is a molodiec.
Molodiec, a Polish word, which means, who knows?
It's a compliment.
Yes, but what does it mean?
A fine fellow, a good guy that did well.
A person with initiative.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Okay.
that's yeah.
Molodiec, which means a person who excels in his behavior, who knows how to act.
Mhm.
Okay? It comes, I guess, from Polish mlody, if I'm not mistaken, which means a young person, which has the energies of a young
Mhm.
person. Now, my question is about the sentence, Nehama, you read. If you will see him in America, what can we learn from this way of writing? Nehama? Amy?
You mean the sentence structure?
No. What does it show us from the point of view how the tailor of Eastern Europe relates to America? Amy? Nehama?
That maybe the Jews in America know each other, or
Which is an
can,
impossible thing because America is very big. So he is a kind of provincial minded,
Mhm.
the tailor. He went to America. If you will see him there, let him give greetings.
I
How
think
can
that's Sholem Aleicham's sense of humor, like from this tailor's point of view, because
That's
you know,
right, but also it's a way of explaining what a tailor from Eastern Europe can understand about America, which looks in his eyes perhaps as a shtetl and not as a continent.
I've asked, ich hab gefragt, mention, oh, du kennst ihm oder sie, and
Yes.
like it's like Jewish geography, right?
Right.
Somebody, yeah,
Right.
and so they say to me, well, no, I don't know everybody, and then I feel
Yeah.
stupid, right?
Yeah. What Shalom is trying to do, he plays on the mentality of the shtetl and does it very well with this sentence. משפט הבא, Nehama.
Okay. Ist gestorben noch vor der Konstitution.
Ist gestorben noch
Noch.
vor der Konstitution. עוד משפט?
There's an exclamation mark. Yeah.
Try to explain it.
Okay.
I
I
hope.
guess.
I guess also what's the meaning. Let's hear what you understand.
Okay. Ist gestorben. He died. I guess we're talking about the Tate. And noch here means nevertheless.
No. He's speaking about the father or about the person who went to America? Amy,
I think the Oh, was I?
The subject of the sentence is the one who went to America.
No, I think
I
it's
think it's the
no, I think it's the father.
מה
The
את
one.
אומרת, אימי?
Yes, I think it's the father as well,
Okay.
because
So
he said when you, yeah.
כן?
Sollst du ihm losen grüßen und sagen, als sein Tate is a molodietz. So,
Okay.
and now it's going to explain why his
Okay, so it's the
yeah.
father, you are right. Ist gestorben.
Noch war der Konstitution.
What does it mean? Nechama.
He nevertheless, I don't know how to explain this. No, he nevertheless.
Which word?
Noch. Er is
Already.
gestorben
Already.
Oh, okay. Oh, already. Before the I don't know what constitution they're talking about.
That's the question. Yes, that's the question. I guess that here there is a talk about Polish history. He died before there was a constitution in Poland. Now, I think that he's referring to Poland and a constitution in the second half of the 20s. But I'm not sure.
Didn't they talk about a pogrom? Was it in Kishinev or 1903 or something?
It doesn't connect it with constitution. What was the connection between what you say in the constitution?
I guess
Yeah.
I guess the constitution came after this last pogrom. Because
do you base yourself on historical knowledge?
No,
or is
I'm
it
just
a guess?
It's a guess because the sentences.
Okay, you see, in questions of history, you cannot guess. If you have not a documented way of saying what you say, a guess will not help.
But I think Shalom Aleichem knows the history, so
yes, but we have to understand what he's saying.
Well, I don't know what happened with why the Constitution and what that means.
I think that, if I'm not mistaken, the second half of the 20s, there was a constitution in Poland, if I remember. Okay, let's go on.
He talks about the Constitution. He talks about the Constitution right at the beginning of the story, and then also a little bit later. I think there was different things going on that people were getting involved in and going to jail for, and having a revolution or something. But right at the beginning, when the Taylor from America is writing,
he's mentioning the word constitution at the beginning.
Yes, he says, let's see.
Let's take a look what he says.
Okay, right at the very beginning of the whole Mr. Kenayas.
Okay.
He says, "Wir haben groß Trouble von dem, was du schreibst uns nicht kein Letters, warum sind es haben sich ungeheuer bei euch die Revolution mit der Constitution, mit die massacres."
Mm.
And
who
then
writes,
I think
who writes this letter?
The
American Jew?
Yes. And he's asking his friend in Europe what's going on with the revolution and the Constitution and the people going to jail and the massacres.
Okay.
And then, yeah, so it's
you are right.
something, yeah.
So maybe the Constitution was just it made it worse, or it was the same bad as what
The
happened.
question
Yeah.
is, what is the date of the Constitution? Because if the father died before, we don't know when. But let's go on. We
Okay.
cannot decipher the date. Okay.
Yeah.
Nechama.
Und Motto unserer ist glatt verfallen geworden.
Gewum.
Okay. And our motto is glatt.
Simply, glad means
Simply
here simply. Can.
simply fell, died, right? Died,
No,
fell,
no.
verfallen.
Verfallen geworden. Who can translate exactly what
Oh.
is verfallen geworden?
Disappeared?
Oh.
Disappeared, get lost. Disappeared or get lost.
Oh.
Okay. תמשיכי נחמה.
Okay. Me weiß nicht, wo is. Oh, okay. If I would have read a little more, I would have maybe understood verfallen geworden. Okay.
Okay.
We don't know where he is.
Not we don't know, but
Oh,
no one knows.
no one. I
Net
see.
based. No
Okay.
one. Okay.
Es seinen Otter soy asach Ichesnet geworden. There's a nice, yeah, there's a nice.
איפה ורה? אין לנו ורה.
Maybe I'll look,
היצ'זנט
yeah.
זה רוסית. כן, אני לא יודע מה זה.
I'll look it up in my Weinreich, but it's probably not in here.
I don't think you will find, but try. Because it's
It
a
wasn't-
Russicism.
It wasn't even in my dictionary.
No, it's a Russicism. It's not Yiddish at all.
Yeah.
It never
Yeah.
entered the Yiddish language.
Okay, no, it's not here. It's not here. Okay, I'll write it in the book. We'll ask Vera next time.
We have
Okay.
to ask Vera. Yes.
Okay, so es seinen Otazoi asach Ichesnet geworden. Okay, me weiß nicht wo their Gebein is ahin gekommen.
Oh, okay. Ichesne maybe disappeared. You can write with a question mark and ask Vera.
Okay.
So many, like Motu, disappeared or get lost. Okay.
Is it an adjective? Azoi asach Ichesnet geworden? You think it's an adjective?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Then it ends with a tet.
A tet, yeah, yeah.
Yes. Maybe
Okay.
it's an adjective. Okay.
Okay, me weiß nicht, wo their Gebein is hingekommen. Okay, one doesn't know where their bones.
Right. Gebein means the array of the bones of their body. It's another way to say that no one knows where they disappeared.
And was is hingekommen?
Ahin where he went and disappeared. Ahin said to there. Kumen ahin to come to there.
Oh,
So if he
okay.
disappeared, we don't know in which place their bodies went.
You know, I know when you say kommt zu gehen, see, right? I don't understand what that means. Kommt zu gehen, like
But kumen is to arrive. To gain by foot. To
I
arrive by
see.
foot or
Okay.
to arrive.
Okay.
To gain, to arrive. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, danke. Okay. Asach seinen sich zu laufen. Asach,
Now,
yeah.
now the Taylor tries to explain different ways how people disappeared. Asach seinen sich zerlaufen. תרגום.
Many
Seinen sich zerlaufen. Run away.
okay. So many
Laufen is to run. Now,
okay.
what he's trying to explain, I guess, is what happened during the pogroms. Many ran away in different directions. Tse means in different directions. Hala.
Okay, sorry, I'm just writing it down. Okay, tse means in different directions. Okay.
I tell you why. Tse is a prefix which is the opposite of zu.
Oh.
Zuläufen means to run to a point. Zerläufen sich means to run in all directions. Hatze is a prefix who means that the action is made in many different directions. For instance, when you have ice cream, then marozhine in Yiddish, in Polish Yiddish. Die marozhine is zegangen. Means the ice cream melted. Why? Zegangen, gain, to go, tse in all directions, he melted.
That "se" is used a lot.
Right.
But it's always a negative or a
right.
Yeah, or
But
yeah.
the Lithuanians, the Jews from Lithuania, don't differentiate. They can say, die marozhine hat sich zulaufen. Zu and se, Lithuanian Jews don't make a clear distinction.
But how do they spell it? When the same or
The
the
same.
pronounce the
No, the same.
The same. Okay.
Yes, you must understand the context, otherwise you will not understand what they say. Okay. תמשיך.
Okay. Okay. Just looking where we are. Okay. Asach seinen sich zu laufen. Asach seinen geharget geworden. Und Asach ruhen sich aus in die Turmes.
Okay. Translation.
Okay. So many were murdered, geharget geworden. Und Asach,
not murdered, no. The exact translation were killed.
Were killed. Okay.
Yeah.
Und Asach ruhen sich, and many ruhen sich is to be quiet or still, or right? Is that right?
Nachim, lanuach. How do we say it?
Oh, resting. Resting. Okay, resting. Yeah. Ois, completely.
Right.
Ruhen sich ois in die Turmes, in the jails.
So, what can you say, Nechama and Amy, about the last sentence? Asach ruhen sich ois in die Turmes. The verb is ois ruhen sich. What can you say about the way of phrasing that they are resting?
That it's also another example of the satire, the satirical, the taking a rest in jail.
Right, because no one wants to take a rest in a jail. In a jail, you are incarcerated. not taken to rest.
Yeah, but it shows how violent the violence was.
It shows what?
How violent the violence was. Like
Why
know,
does
to-
it show how the violence was?
because I mean, you run away from the violence, or you know, you're somehow saved from the violence, but you're thrown in jail. So to
I would not accept your
No?
explanation, because no one, in order to rest from violence, you have to be willing to go to jail so there is no violence. This is what you say. But no one wants to go to jail.
you're saying jail is
I'm
also
saying this is
violent?
Shalom Aleichem
Oh.
and not the person who went to jail. Right, Nechama? Do you accept what I say?
Yeah, but the violence begets violence. So if you find a place to rest, which happens to be in jail, okay, I
Human nature will never want to go into jail in order to rest. This is a psychological dictum which I say, and I guess that in general people will not go to jail in order to rest.
Well, my
And
grandfather was put in jail because he was a they say he was a capitalist, and my grandmother somehow, I don't know, she sent somebody to bribe the guards or something, give them money or you know, liquor or something, and he got out. So it's sort of like you know, maybe he had rest in jail.
No, but here we are speaking, your grandfather, I am quite sure, doesn't want to go to jail. He was put in jail.
Yeah, but everybody else was, you know, yeah, I mean, I mean, maybe for 5 minutes he, you know, I mean, what was the alternative? Yeah, right?
We are speaking about a person who is put in jail. I am saying that from a psychological point of view, will not want to go to jail in order to rest. Amy, what do you think about that?
I think that, yeah, it's just so just the way it's written in the context of the story and Sholem Aleichem's writing and the way that he's been writing. I
Right.
just feel that it came across to me very strongly as, you know, this way of saying something in a
Sarcastic.
satirical way. Yes, sarcastic.
It's the same with the Tate, who died before the Constitutia, er has a molodietz. I mean, who,
Yes,
I mean,
right.
yeah.
It's like the opposite of,
Okay.
Yeah.
המשפט הבא, נחמה.
Okay, it's a comma, so there's, okay, continue.
Okay.
Okay,
כן.
okay, spazieren herum in Sibirer Schneeen, arbeiten mit der Tatschke,
כן, תצ'קה.
nur wemmen Herrensee, mit der Zeichenfrage.
כן. Okay, so he is describing what happened with part of the Jews, try to translate, spazieren,
Okay.
those Jews, if I understand, who were put in jail, what do?
They walk around or they wander around
They walk around where?
in Sibir. In
In Sibir.
in
So
in
when
in
he says
Sibir.
that they were put in jail, he means that they were sent to Siberia. Okay.
In Sibir Schneien. Yeah.
Yes, so they are walking in the snows of Siberia.
Es sei denn, es Sachlieder von Sibir, Schneien.
Right.
Yeah.
Anna?
Arbeiten mit der Tatschke. Was ist
Arbeiten mit der Tatschke. Who knows what is Arbeiten mit der Tatschke?
A tatchka is a wheelbarrow,
Right.
and I think arbit tatchka or tatchka arbit is heavy
No,
labor.
Arbeiten mit der Tatschke, it's written.
Oh, okay. Then they're working
They
with the
work
wheelbarrow.
with a wheelbarrow, which means, if I understand, that they are on forced labor.
Yeah.
As people who are in jail in Siberia. So they work with a wheelbarrow, so they work hard in forced labor. What else, Nechama?
Yeah, wheelbarrow is not in the Weinreich dictionary like this
Yes,
word.
of course. Tatschke is a well-known word in Yiddish. Ken.
Nor Vemmen Herrensee, but who Herrensee.
Translation.
But who hears them?
No.
Oh.
Vemmen Herrensee. To the words of whom do they pay attention? In other words, they do what they want. No women herze, but to whom are they listening? In other words, they do what they want. Even though they are in Siberia and they are working hard, because Siberia is so far away, their incarceration gives them paradoxically a place of freedom, because no one is looking what they do and how they do, because it's a very far place and they are more or less, in quotation marks, free, even though they are jailed in Siberia.
Kent here to explain the noun here and why I didn't understand the ze.
Which noun?
Like ze, like nor Vemmen Herrensee. I thought
they are the prisoners in Siberia.
No, but the word order.
Yeah. Those prisoners, to whom do they listen? Which means the authorities who are those who incarcerate them. Maybe that there is a way of staying in jail in Siberia, but the prisoners don't go after what their incarcerators tell them, because in Siberia you are so far away that you have a great degree of freedom, even though you are in jail in Siberia. ניסיתי להסביר, נחמה, הסברתי לך?
Yeah, but I didn't know initially. I didn't understand like the sentence, but now I understand.
I will
Yeah.
give you one
It-
more example. Ich hab a Tate una Mame. Aber ich hör sie nicht. I don't follow what they say to me to do. Women hör sie. To whom do they listen? To nobody. They do more or less what they want in Siberia, even though they are in jail.
Okay, Doug.
עוד משפט.
Okay. חבר'ה haben sich eingespart, einmal für allemal.
תמשיכי.
Oder Konstitutie oder a Krank.
אוקיי, מעניין. תרגום. חבר'ה, we don't know who are the חבר'ה. חבר'ה haben sich eingespart. Einsparen, to be stubborn. חבר'ה was stubborn. And they said, oder Konstitutie oder Akkreg.
Was meint einmal für allemal?
Once for all.
Once and for all?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Either constitution, which I am doubtful what I understand from that. Either we have to behave like the constitution says, oder a krenk, or I don't follow the constitution. The question here is, what is chevre? Chevre are the prisoners, or chevre are those who made the constitution in Poland? I guess that chevre means those who made the constitution, the rules of behaving in Poland. And they said, we are stubborn. Either you behave like the constitution tells you to behave, or there are krenk, or you will get a disease.
Is that more like a punishment?
Right. In other
Okay.
words, people, if you don't behave like the constitution says, you will get, as you said, punished. עוד משפט.
Kein Chochmes geht nicht on bei uns.
מה המילה הראשונה?
Kein, it's a kind.
kein
Kein.
חוכמס גיין ניתון by uns.
You say Cain or Kine? How do you, Cain?
Kein, yeah, there is no patach under the two yuds.
Here there is though, but maybe it's like a
It
typo.
shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
Cain,
Kein
okay.
חוכמה גייט ניתון by uns. No tricks. Chokhmah in Hebrew, but here it means tricks. No tricks. Geit niton by uns is not acceptable with us. Who are us? Those who made the constitution. Those who says how Poles have to behave.
Well, the Chevra, right? Chevra?
The Chevre, exactly.
I'm not
עוד
sure
משפט.
because
כן,
the
אמי.
next, yeah, I think he's referring to his community because he says, because what's the next word, I
Yes.
think tells us
So
that.
read, Nechama, the next sentence.
Okay, kein Chochmas geht nicht on bei uns, there's a comma, Baalei Meloches.
By
Baalei Meloches.
Bali Meloches. No tricks are accepted with us. We manufacture workers. בעלי מלוכס. תמשיכי עוד משפט.
Wie sagt Getzel? Okay, like
גצל או
Getzel.
גציה?
Getzel.
גצל, amen. How says, what does say גצל? What does he say? נחמה?
Okay, this is Hebrew. Oh, we had it before. Lo me'oksecha
לא
velo.
מעוקצך ולא מדופשך.
Yeah.
So he's citing an idiom in Hebrew. לא מעוקצך, I don't want to get something harsh from you. Pockets is
Oh,
what
yeah,
the bee.
a sting.
Yes. So I don't want to get a sting from you. ולא מדופשך, and I don't want to get
Honey.
honey from you. From you,
Oh
I
my
don't want
God.
anything. Not the bad thing and not the good thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah? Not from your sting and not from your honey. לא מעוקצך ולא מדופשך.
Der Nomen Getzel. Was ist der richtige Nomen? Getzel.
Das ist ein richtiger Name. Es ist gewesen ein Bibliograf in Jerusalem. Sein Name ist gewesen Getzel Kressel. He was an author of encyclopedias. Getzel is a Yiddish name.
Was meint Getzel?
Was meant, it's very interesting because in Yiddish the word Getz is an idol.
Right.
Getzel Kressel. Okay. It's a rare Yiddish name, but it existed. Yes. עוד משפט.
Sei mir nicht kein Vetter und geh mir nicht kein Stiefel.
Und
Okay.
geh mir nicht,
Kein Stiefel.
I think it's name mir
Oh,
nicht,
I'm
no?
sorry. Oh, yeah, yeah.
nehm mir
Yeah.
nicht kein Stiefel.
Okay.
So this is another idiom, a folkloric idiom in Yiddish. Since I don't
yeah.
want the sting or the honey from you, I say another
Yeah.
idiom in the same mood. Sei mir nicht kein Vetter. Don't be an uncle to me, and don't sew me Stiefel. How do you say in English?
Boots.
Boots.
Button. Yeah.
Boots. So I don't want any relationship with you. Not for your sting, not for your honey. Don't be an uncle to me, and don't sew for me boots. These are all folkloric idioms in Yiddish.
They're beautiful. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah.
Right. And
yeah.
now my question is, I have a question about that. Why suddenly enough is the tailor of Eastern Europe writing folkloric idioms in his letter. Amy, מה את אומרת?
Well, I don't know, but up until now, he referred to Getzel as Getzia. And now, for the first time, he says Getzel. And then the next sentence, he's going to say more about Getzia. And I really
These are two
got
persons,
very
two
happy
different persons, yes?
Yeah, the tailor and the person he keeps on quoting. You know, he quoted before. And now I think
We can't hear
before.
you,
Amy,
we
we
can't
don't,
hear. Yeah.
you are
Oh,
fragmentary.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Up until this part of the story, he would quote Getsia a
right.
lot. But it was kind of superficial.
Yeah.
And now suddenly he calls him Getzel, and now he's going to say something more about him, I think, as a person. That's what I picked up, and I
So
don't
if
know
we
that.
read more, you say we will hear about him?
I think so, yes.
אוקיי, נשמע נחמה את המשפט הבא.
Is Getzel and Getzia the same person?
No,
Oh,
Getzel
that's
is a woman and Getzel is a
oh,
man.
okay, that's what I'm confused. Okay.
Yes, the tailor of Eastern Europe is quoting a lot of people. But my question still exists. Why suddenly the tailor of Eastern Europe is quoting idioms? What do you think, Nehama?
It's I mean it's also I don't know if this law secha v'lo me like that Hebrew, is that from the Bible or from the Tanakh?
Which thing?
Lo me'okzecha v'lo
לא מעוקצך ולא מדובשך, לא מעוקצך ולא מדובשך. I don't think that it is in the Tanakh, but this is a idiom of a people who speaks Hebrew. I don't know if it's a quotation. I don't think so, but it's pure Hebrew. Yes.
I don't know. It's all the rationalization that the tailor in Mizrach Europa, his mentality, the way he thinks, it's shtetl-dik, it's folkloric, it's
That's right.
In
addition to what you say, we have here also Sholem Aleichem taking part in the whole thing, because Sholem Aleichem is integrating those idioms in the words of the tailor of Eastern Europe, because, as you said, Nehama, this is folklore. And if this is folklore, it is legitimate that the tailor of Eastern Europe should know 2 or 3 idioms from the folklore, from the lore of the folk. המשפט הבא.
Yeah, I just want to say that Itzik Munger also writes in this folkloric mode in his
Right.
poetry.
Yes, but here we have Munger is a poet.
Yeah.
And the tailor of Eastern Europe is a simple Jew. And the letter is written at the end by him with the help of Sholem Aleichem. But here, as I say, he can help him because it's folklore, and folklore pertains to the folk. Okay.
Okay, then it's nikuda, a modner mensch ot der Getzia.
Oh, Getzie or Getzel?
Getzia with a yud ayin at the end. I think Getzia is the same person as Getzel.
Ah, so it's not a woman.
No, I guess we
So
all
we
thought it
learned
was, yeah.
I
that
was
it's a man.
mistaken. There is the same
So-
person as you asked, Nehama. Getzie or Getzel, we understand now that this is the same person. So,
I just want to ask you this yeah at the end. Is that like
one moment, Nehama, before you ask me, go back to Getzie
yeah.
and
Oh,
see if the conjugation is as it is a woman or a man.
where before like in the beginning of the
Find
story?
before Getzie,
Oy,
and we will see if it's a
I-
woman in the conjugation, if it's said as a feminine verb.
Ich vergesse, ich kenne nicht gleich.
אולי אימי יכולה למצוא את זה?
I think this is coming up.
We can't hear you, Amy. We can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
okay.
כן.
I think it's coming up because he says a modner Mensch ot der Getzia. Then he says ein Sohn hat man im avec. Oh no, that refers to the son.
No,
Sorry.
we are speaking before.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
we had Getzia somewhere, and we thought
Oh, yeah.
Getzia is a woman.
Yeah, we have to look before
Getzia
if
keeps
the
on
verb
coming.
is feminine or masculine. כן.
Okay, let's see if we can find.
I
Okay, let's see. Oh. Let's see. Let's see. Oh,
I can find it for next class on Monday.
No. We'll try to find it now because otherwise we will forget.
okay.
And this is in the place where
Gets here.
the Taylor is speaking about casualties of the pogrom.
Yeah, I have it. I found it.
Okay.
What page?
Read the sentence with Getzie.
No, tell me which page. Where
Yes.
who's in here?
Yes, page 106. I'll tell you the
Oh.
line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The ninth line.
From
At
the
the
top? From the
Yes.
top. Okay.
Yes. In the middle, it says, Wie sagt Getzia der Damsker Schneider?
Der Damsker Schneider. So
Oh.
I was misled by myself. Getzie or Getzel is the tailor of
Another tailor.
of women dresses.
That's right.
So
Because
from the beginning, he's a man.
If Getzia was a woman, they'd say wait a minute, Damsker Schneiderin, right?
Right.
Okay.
So I mea culpa, as I was mistaken. Okay. Nehama, the next sentence.
Aber es ist ein Nomen for a Frau, wie Getzel. Is there a feminine name?
Maybe
okay.
I am not sure. Maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, wait just a minute. Okay. A modner Mensch ot der Getzia. Ein Sohn hat man ihm weggelegt in der Milchome.
Atpo, you go.
A strange person is this very Getzia.
Ken.
Or is Getzia. Ein Sohn hat man ihm weggelegt in der Milchome. So one son was weggelegt.
Was killed.
Oh, was killed?
Yes, it's a very primitive way of saying that he was killed.
You know, I'm thinking of saying just in a Yiddish sentence, you know, a veki, like you put something in a drawer. You say a veki in, like you put something in a drawer, like an envelope.
Yes, but here the meaning is not the literal meaning, but I would say folkloristic meaning. Meotim avegelek,
How is a
they killed him.
Vecklagen? How is that a Vecklagen?
Aveglegen.
How does that
So,
become killed?
avec, נחמה שואלת,
Yeah, Ken.
את שואלת איך המילה
Yeah.
אבגלייק, המובן שלה זה קילד.
Is
זה
it
את שואלת?
Ken?
אז אני אומר, in the Yiddish language, you can use a word with a literal meaning, with here avekling is to lay down. And you can use the word not in the literal meaning, but in the more literary meaning. So in Yiddish, when you want to say that a person was laid down forever, meotim avegeleit. It's a folkloric way of saying he was killed. And you will not find it, I guess, in a dictionary. You can try now to see the word aveklegen.
Well, Lagan is to lay or put or place.
Yes. But the word is aveklegen. Avek is a prefix, which means finally,
Oh,
forever, without getting back. The moment you lay down someone, he will not come again on his feet. And also in English, you have things like that. You cannot say in English, he was laid down, he was killed.
yeah, but I'm trying to think avec. Avec gain.
Avec is a prefix which means to do an action with far away consequences. Okay? Avec gain is to go far without coming back.
Wow.
It's a way,
Okay.
like a way in English.
Vecklegen is in my dictionary.
Yes, and what is said?
So there's a couple of definitions, and then the third one says familiar, overwhelm, knock out, kill,
Right.
abandon.
And
Yeah.
they say they call it familiar, which means
Yes.
folkloristic, not
Yes.
Official.
Yes. The official
Okay.
is to lay down, arrange, put
Right.
in place. Yeah.
Okay.
And when you say a vekshikin or a vekishik, it means you're
Avexit means that you say you send a package to another person, which will not the package will not come back.
okay. It won't be returned.
Right.
Okay.
המשפט הבא, נחמה.
Okay. Okay.
So one son was killed in the war. Okay?
Der andere sitzt und allein ist euch auf Zores, nur kommt zur Gleichwertung oder a
No. Is a roy chafzores until here.
Yeah. Okay.
Der andere sitzt. How will you translate that?
The other one I don't want to say is sitting,
What does
is
it mean?
it
Amy יכולה לעזור?
No, I have the same
Okay, so I will
hesitancy.
explain to you
Yeah.
again, like we said before, there are literal meanings and there are more familiar meanings, more folkloric meanings. When you say in Yiddish, sitzt, literally it means he is sitting. But from a folkloric point of view, it means sitzt, he sits in jail, incarcerated.
Oh.
Why? Because he sits, he cannot be free and move where it wants. Only when you are in jail, you cannot go to another place. So you sit.
ich
Now-
hab gehört, sitzt in Torme or something.
Right.
Like
But then, sitzt in Turme, or there is a more succinct way of saying it, using only the verb, sitzt. And now I will tell you one of the jokes which explain why sitzt means he sits in jail. It goes like that. Two Jews were put in jail in Poland. One of them is sitting and not moving in jail. The other one is more nervous, and he goes back and forth in the jail, in the cell, from one extreme of the cell to the other, back and forth. And then the Jew who was sitting without moving says to the other one who is moving all the time, "Was läufst du? Why are you running? Und als du läufst, sitzt du nicht?" And if you are moving and running all the time, you are not sitting?
Mhm.
Jail.
Right.
Okay. כן. Okay. We will stop here. If there are questions or comments, I am ready to hear. נחמה, לך יש תמיד שאלות.
No, it's as much as it's, it's depressing, the folklore idioms are beautiful. I mean,
Right.
yeah.
So we noticed today that the tailor of Eastern Europe, with the aid of Sholem Aleichem, is using a lot of folkloric idioms. And this is a very nice addition Sholem Aleichem puts in the mouth of the tailor, which is a simple person, but uses a lot of folk expressions.
Okay, I just want to say I'm having trouble finding the to stop the recording, but just give me just a minute.
Okay,
I'm
try
gonna
to
try. I'm gonna try.
stop it. Yeah.
Just see, just a minute, okay?
Yeah.
Just a second. Oh, wait more.
If you will find it,
Oh, stop recording. Okay. So can I
Okay.
stop now? Can it,
Yes,
okay, stop recording.
okay.
Um,
תודה רבה.